Okay, so hi, my name is Carissa. This is my new channel, Carissa Creates, and I have got a project that I have really gotten into lately that I wanted to share with you. Oyster shells. I know there's nothing new about them. People are doing them all over. But I had so much fun with them. My husband bought me oysters one night as a surprise when he was picking up takeout from one of our local restaurants. And so I had to save the oyster shells. Of course, I save everything. Most of us crafters do. Saved the oyster shells, washed them out, and then started doing some crafts with them. And I had so much fun that I thought it would be fun to make this one of the first things that I put on my channel. So this is the first one I did. The oyster shells that they served us in had not been bleached, obviously, because they were served, you know, the oysters were cooked in the shell. So I love this really beautiful rough exterior. And I just washed a couple of them and played around with a couple of things that I had down at the house, which was basically some nail polish and some glitter. I had a new box of glitter that I had just picked up at Walmart that I had not brought up to the studio yet, and I had some little acrylic pearl beads. And then so all I did was, you know, paint it with some clear glittery nail polish and sprinkle the glitter in. Then I used some glue. I think I used the triple thick on this because I had it down at the house, and then poured some little beads in. I took a silver paint pen and just did the edges, but I didn't do the back because I really loved the difference between the elegant look on one side and that just natural look on the other, and added a veil, and now we have an ornament. And I'm hoping that you can see it. So then I brought, then I did a couple more with the same process, just using some of the stuff that I had at home. I decided I had some green pearl, acrylic pearl, so I decided to try one in green. Don't like that nearly as well as the silver, but it is pretty. It's great, would be pretty on a Christmas tree. And then I did, I think, one more, which I thought I had sitting out here, but I don't see it. So, oh, here it is. Oh, two more, sorry. And this one, I didn't have a gold paint pen, so I had a gold glitter pen. And so once I got done with the nail polish and the pearls, I used the gold glitter pen on the back as well, because it was see-through and you could, so translucent, so you could still see that wonderful. But it gave it a little sparkle on the back. And just glued on some bails with some E6000. And then this one was, I had a rose gold pen and a rose gold bail, so I did one in this color. And that was all that I really did for a while. And then I found from one of my suppliers, where I buy some other things that I work with, had some oyster shells that they bleach the backs of, so they come in nice and clean like this, and they're white on the back. I think I really like them unbleached, but this is what they had, and I decided to get them. I decided to order a bunch of them and to start playing with alcohol inks. So I'll just show a couple of them here that I've done. This one in, you know, the blues, greens, yellows, the reds, the oranges, and golds. This one in black and green with gold, kind of an elegant camo. Now, I haven't finished any of these off. All I've gotten to this stage with is is sealing them with some Mod Podge. So I thought I would start from scratch with one, and we'll do it here together. I'm going to use the alcohol inks, but again, you can use anything. People decoupage on these things. They do, and you don't have to spend a lot of money for decoupage paper. You can get dinner napkins, cocktail napkins that come with a variety of different designs on them and just peel that top layer off and use that. You can use, you can decoupage with paper, of course. It's a little harder if you're using the thick copy paper, but if you use like the onion skin or vellum or the thin paper, decoupage with that. It's just harder with the thicker paper to get the wrinkles out and get a nice smooth look. You can use paint. You can paint pictures on them. You can water the paint down and use them more like alcohol inks. You can use, you know, with just dropping them on. You can do the, treat the paint to use for acrylic pours and do like a tiny mini acrylic pour on your shell. I mean, there's just no end to what you can do. Gluing things on. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to pick a few of my alcohol inks. I got these online. They're from Magic Fly. It was a pack of 24 alcohol inks. I had gotten some alcohol inks that came with it came with a little resin kit when I got my very first resin kit ages ago, and there were some alcohol inks in them that were just in some primary colors. They weren't very good, but I enjoyed playing with them. And so I decided that I wanted to get some more colors and a little better quality ink, and but I didn't really want to invest in a whole lot in it, so I went with this off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. I caught it on the Amazon Prime Day sale, so I was able to get it at a significant discount. Watch for other sales like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, things like that. I mean, Amazon's always having sales that you can make good on. So I am going to choose yellows, reds, brown, gold, and let's go with that. So the first one I'm going to use is and again, I just use very little, okay, just a drop here, drop there, drop there, and just let it do what it's going to do. That was dark red. Then I'm just going to step down a little bit and go with regular red, and then put a drop up here, and a drop here, and a drop here. I'm sure that if my lighting were better, you could probably see a bigger difference between the reds, but the regular red is a little brighter. Okay, and then I'm going to go with orange. Okay, and again, it's just a drop. I don't even squeeze the bottle. I just bend it over and let the drop fall. That's all there is to it. You don't, a little goes a very long way. And see how the movement, see that alcohol ink, it just moves around the shell on its own. Now, if it tends to puddle up, if you get a shell that's got like a really deep pocket there, sometimes the ink will puddle up there, and so I just pick it up and I kind of do this with it and just let the ink move around some more. That way you're not wasting all of your color in one spot. Now I'm going with the yellow ochre, which is a little darker yellow than regularly yellow. And see, I put it on the orange and how it just takes over and pushes that orange out of the way. And now I'm going to go with a lemon yellow, which is a much brighter yellow. That spot in the middle hasn't gotten really any color. Now you can leave your negative spaces, and sometimes I do. I'm just not this time. Again, just little drops. And see how that yellow just moves on through, and then it reactivates the colors that it runs through, and then they start running some more too. So you get all these wonderful little spidery lines, kind of feathering. Now this is really bright. So I'm going to add just a touch of brown. Kind of give it a little contrast there. And maybe some over on this side. And now, this, if I'm going to run out of an alcohol ink, it's going to be in the metallics. I don't know if you can see here, but this one you can tell I've used quite a bit of. Most of it's been on these oyster shells. I have done probably 3 dozen of these oyster shells, playing around with them. I will put the link to where I buy mine in the description, as well as where you can buy them in smaller quantities, because the place that I buy them, you have to put like a minimum of $100 order of, you know, whatever it is you're going to get. But they have a big variety of shells and other products, bones and skulls. My son really loves to decorate skulls, so we did a whole module with that. And anyway, so I'll put the link to that. I'll also put a link to a place on Etsy that I found that you can get the oyster shells without having to order quite such a large quantity, because not everybody wants to sit down and, you know, do 50 or 100 of something when they do it. I tend to get obsessive, so I'll find a craft I like and I will do a lot of it. Now I'm going to add the gold metallic. You have to shake that up really well, because the metallics will settle down into the bottom of the bottle every time you set it down. So you want to leave your cap on. Don't shake it before you open it for the first time, before you poke they come with this part right here sealed shut, so you have to stick a needle in or even snip off the top of it. I suggest sticking a needle in first and seeing if that doesn't get you enough of a pour, because it's really hard to snip off the end and not snip off too much. But don't shake it before you do that, or you're going to end up with alcohol ink everywhere. Trust me, it's happened. But before you use the metallic, you're going to want to put the lid on and shake it up good. And see, I'm just putting a drop here and a drop there, and you can watch how that, hopefully you can see how that's moving around and settling in little places and giving it almost a gold leaf look. I have one over here that I actually used real gold leaf on, and I'll show you the difference on it. I didn't take like a sheet of gold leaf and gold leaf glue. I have a little pot of broken up gold leaf that I use with my resin, and so all I did was I used some Mod Podge on the shell and then just dabbed on some of the gold leaf that was, and that's on this one, from that pot. And it worked out pretty well, I think. This one's finished, it's got a bail on it. I don't put the bails on until I'm done with everything else. So, 6,000. Okay, so as you can see, okay, now the thing about alcohol inks, and I'm going to stop for just a second so I can get something and show you. Okay, so the thing about alcohol inks is, even once they're dry, they're going to be really easy to reactivate and smear. So I've noticed that if I try to put Mod Podge directly on dried alcohol ink, it still smears a little bit. Not much, but it does get a little bit. Does come up on your brush, and if you've got some kind of design going, it can cause it to look a little bit smeary. So what I like to do is spray it first with a sealant, and I choose a sealant that's got a UV protectant in it. I'll put a link to the one that I've got down in the description. And I like to spray these first, let that dry, and then I'll put a coat of Mod Podge on to up the shine. Now they're really shiny anyway, but I like to have as much sealant coverage as I can, so I probably tend to overdo it. But I spray the sealant first. Spray it far enough away that it's not going to cause this to run. Okay. But let's say you did, while you were still working on this, and you decided that something dried too thick or too dark and you didn't like the way it looked, you didn't want to add another color to it, I have some 91% alcohol. You can use the 99% or even the 70%, but it's going to be a little more watery. But in the spray bottle, and I use it on my resin to spray for bubbles, you know, to pop bubbles. But if I spray it here, it gives it it'll reactivate the alcohol in it, and it'll cause little dots, like little cells, if you're familiar with acrylic painting, in it, and it'll cause the alcohol to start running around again. So alcohol ink is very forgiving. If you didn't like what you did, let's say I didn't like the brown that I put in it, I could go over that with a little bit of the alcohol, or throw in another alcohol color, and it's just gonna push that right out of the way. So alcohol inks are very forgiving that way. So this one, I'm gonna call this one done. I like the way the colors came out. I like the way the gold is sitting around on it. So I'm gonna call that one done. Now, rather than do another one, I have one here that I have already sealed, okay? And so now I'm gonna edge it. Okay, on this one, I'll go ahead and tell you here, if you see the shimmer in it, I didn't use the gold or silver. On this one, I used this rainbow alcohol ink by Marabou. Let's see if I can, here you go. Okay. And when you use that, it creates these little like rainbow shimmers, and it goes with whatever color you've got under it. I mean, it's just, it's absolutely beautiful. So anyway, so for this one, I'm looking at, I think I'm going to go with the silver on the edging. Okay, so I have these silver pens, which I'll put a link there in the description for that too. These are Deco Color Premium. I get them on Amazon. They're real cheap, usually under $5. If I'm watching the prices, you can spend more on them, of course. You can also buy them. I've seen the gold ones at Walmart, and I've seen them all at Hobby Lobby, and I've got gold, silver, and rose gold. And I've got some other metallic pens, but they're in the colors keep coming in very light. Right now I'm looking for some that have like really bright, colors, like a red, metallic red and things. So I want to add those to my stash. But see, I just take this pen. It just looks like a magic marker on it, but it puts out paint. First time you open it, that's going to be white. So what you're going to have to do is, let's see. See if I can help you out with this, okay? I have a brand new one here that my gold one was starting to get low, so I ordered another one, but I hadn't had to open it yet. But I'll do that for you here. Getting the plastic off, okay? And see, it comes out white. So you want to shake it up good. Better to shake it with the cap on. Shake it up, and then see how it's white. You're just going to push and just pump it until you'll start to see the paint Right, see, you can start to see the paint starting to come down into the tip, and you just keep pumping it till it gets to the tip and it's making a mark on your paper. See? And there you have it. It's all good to go. So, back to doing this. We're just going to take this and I'm going to edge it, and I'm just going to go around the edge of where the color meets the shell. Because you got a little roughness right there, you know, where you got different layers of the shell there. And I just want to get just a nice little border to kind of frame the colors. Now, some people will take this and they will do the entire back of the shell. And I've done that, and it's gorgeous. It gives the shell an extremely elegant look. And I will probably do that on some others. But on this one, we're just going to go around. Just like that. See, it just gives it just a little, just like a little frame. Just a little finished edge. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these. Take one of these. These are glue-on bales, and that's what you can type right in on Amazon or anywhere else. I'll put a link to get some. Yeah, that'll give me a nice. Okay, and I'm going with the silver one because I chose the silver edging. But as you can see, they come in gold. They come in the antiqued gold. I've seen them in rose gold. In fact, I had one in rose gold that I used on that rose gold, the one that I etched in rose gold. You can get them in all different kinds of colors. And I'll put a link to one set, but scroll through and look, because Amazon has all kinds of different sets and sizes and price points. So, you know, do what you are going to do. Do what you need. Now, for this, I like the E6000. It holds better than hot glue. You know, once something's on, it's pretty much going to be on with the E6000. Okay, so, and you only need the tiniest little bit here. See, just a little bit, and I just kind of rubbed it around there so that it'll be, okay. Now I'm going to put my lid on, because once you squeeze the E6000, it wants to keep coming out. And once it does, if it does that around your thing, it's going to take an act of Congress to get that thing open again. So, then you want to find your spot. And you want to put it there. Get it in place in the direction where you want the ornament to hang. And then you're going to need to leave it for about 5 minutes, but kind of watch it, make sure that it stays in place. If it's laying fairly flat, it'll stay in place. And then when you're done, you have an ornament that you can hang. And these make great gifts. Order, you know, a dozen or so of these ornaments, spend an afternoon. I mean, you saw how quick it was to decorate this thing with the alcohol ink. If you've got little beads you want to put in them, if you've got, I've done one with, it was as a Christmas ornament that my daughter actually did here, where she put glitter and a little Christmas tree that we got in a little package of embellishments off Amazon. And we're going to put a hook on it, and so she can hang it and give it as like a teacher gift. This is one for my foster daughter that my daughter helped me do to give her to hang, where we added a little butterfly and some beads after we did the alcohol ink. That one with a little ornament hook is going to be very pretty. So, it's all up to you. I'd love to see, and this has crept while we've been talking, so I'm going to move it back up and then just kind of hold it into place. So I'm going to sign off, but now you've seen us working with some oyster shells, and you may see us working with oyster shells or seashells again, because once I get on a project, I tend to stick with it for a while. But join us for our next craft here at Carissa Creates.